Hey everybody, how's everybody doing? This is the uh, Lobster Ministries. This is my secondary channel because I can't do live hangouts um, on the Lobster channel, my other channel, because of the video that I did about when I was in a G-Man hangout and I was making fun of J-Dubs for being the fucking shittiest Jew in the fucking world. He really is. But there's other things that that I talk about that I well, there's hobbies. I do other things besides Von Helton videos. There's other things that I'm interested in. Hold on a second. I'm getting rid of stuff that's absolutely not necessary. If you get this link, look, this channel only has 3 subscribers, so I'm hoping. I put it out there on my channel, which should go to the Lobster Google Plus. Just check it out. If you're seeing this anywhere, if you're like to join this conversation, feel free. If you find the link, if you have the link, don't want to come in, but you know somebody that might want to come in, sure, absolutely. Um, give them the link. If you want to be a dick, it's just uh, we're gonna have a conversation. This is just my opinion, and well, I've got a few things to say, and it's not, I do other things. I have other interests besides making Von Helton videos. I mean, it's just something that it entertains me. I find it funny, and I've got some personal certain things when you do Von Helton videos. Um, or if you watched him for a long time, whether you're a pagan like him or a flat earther like him or whatever the latest conspiracy fucking thing is, unless you agree with that exact fucking thing, even paganism, right? Then you're a troll or a hater or something like that, and just the things he says, with I I just find a lot of it funny, but the whole Cold War uh veteran, Cold War disabled veteran. Um, that gets me, and I don't, and not for reasons because you might think, right? Well, first of all, it's not true, but it's funny. But second of all, if he was in the army for, oh fuck, I forgot, he went into civilian capacity, you know. Anyway, but see, I do other things than Von Helton. I have another. I actually, the reason why this hangout or this video that hopefully somebody eventually watches, the whole reason that I got in here late, like, I don't know, 4 hours late, because I was in the studio with Carl. Carl's going to be making an appearance. I know we featured him on the front of uh, our last, video album cover, I'll say, because whatever if you get my videos, it's usually like concept, there's a message, but it's weird. There's probably a reason that something's in there, but in my mind, that it's whatever, you either like it, you don't like it. Yeah, and that's fine with me. But like I said, uh, oh, like some of you know that I'm an atheist, and um, the whole it's all bullshit, and some people get offended by that because their personal beliefs, or well, you don't understand this or that or something, but um, so I get a little bit of flack for that. I think that's one reason why my other channel got flagged. Uh, uh not sure who did it. Don't really care. It's going to be a little bit before I can do live hangouts, and that way, actually, somebody may actually watch it. But I'm going to try this out, and maybe, I don't know, send the link, find the link, show the link to somebody. And I'm looking on my other channel, and Sydney, the Ashkenazi atheist, Sydney's a unique guy. You know, I like Sydney. He's a bit eccentric sometimes and unpredictable. Sometimes you're not quite sure where he's coming from, but at the same time, most people have no idea where I'm coming from because, let's face it, I don't know where I'm coming from most of the time. And I've been, as you could probably tell, doing a lot of waking and baking, you know. Oh, you got to see this cup, man. I love this cup. It's got all this stuff on the side. I've been doing some waking and motherfucking baking, right? There's this stuff that goes on top of your like coffee. And look, man, I like coffee, right? I like with chocolate and just, I like chocolate, man. You know, and you know, just caffeine and shit like that. And when you can make it like, ooh, really good, fuck, why not? So it's been like, it's like this whipped cream shit, or something, but it's like flavored, and it's awesome. It kind of makes a froth thing, and it makes it look like you're drinking caffeine with dignity. And well, that's what's important. So it looks like right now I'm still not receiving anybody watching this hangout, and that makes me sad, because if my other channel hadn't been flagged, I would have been able to communicate with the lobsters out there, and I do apologize for absolutely nothing. I knew it. Somebody flagged my channel. I'll be back. But anyway, I digress. The main reason I really wanted to do this, and honestly, if somebody, I'm going to throw that link out. Oh, wrong fucking screen. I'm going to throw that link out one more time. We're going to talk about, oh, fuck, wrong fucking screen. Da, 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 da. We're going to talk about, and like this might sound weird because a lot of people aren't into wrestling or Saudi Arabia. And I understand that because everybody knows wrestling's fake and everything, and so that's not even the whole idea of what it is not even it's not even the point here. My whole thing is, well, I've been watching wrestling, and just the backstory. So it's not like, oh my gosh, he saw something and uh, just grabbed onto a whole thing. People that know me, one of my things is I've been watching pro wrestling since about the time I was probably around 8, I think. And it was on television. I thought it was fucking great. It was just action. It was just these bigger than life big guys. A lot of times they were immigrants or or flashy people, but not flashy like today, you know, like, but you know, it was the 60s, you know, probably 68, 69 when I first started watching it. And back then, people probably knew it was real, but it gave the illusion that, you know, it was that suspended, just suspense of belief, you know, something, you know, theater, you know. That's what a lot of people took it. And some people took it really seriously. I really took it seriously for years. And, well, because, you know, back then they had a thing called kayfabe, and which was basically you stayed in character, right? Um, if you got into a fight in a bar, you better win. If you lost in a fight in a bar, like these tough guys, you know, Dick the Bruiser or Harley Race, or a lot of these guys, you know, they do say, you know, if you're a tough guy and you got into a fight in a bar, not that you were looking for a fight, but if you lost a fight in a bar, your wrestling career is over because some kind of bar beat you. You're fucked, right? So it was they were really careful about how they perceived things, and the baby faces and the heels, they would never travel together. Um, most of them traveled in cars, unless they were flying to Japan, you know, or Hawaii, or across the ocean somewhere. And in public, they were that character, right? They, you know, they people. That's who they were in real life to so many people on so many levels, right? I mean, I remember, God, but I started wrestling, you know, about when Bruno Sammartino was towards the end of his career. It was like at the end of his career, and he was already a legend. He had a, what do you call it? A feud with Larry Zbyszko, you know, and classic, you know, he had really people. He was Bruno Sammartino. He was a hero to so many people, and he stayed in character because he was who he was. He was one of the people that could do that. You know, he was that Italian. You know, he was Bruno, but they never broke character. They never broke kayfabe, um, because it was protecting the business, as they say, and that was good for business for years. And then the internet pretty much, you know, and quote unquote smart fans, you know, and you know, pretty much killed wrestling, you know, because everybody has an opinion, and a lot of people that use uh, Attitude Era of the WWE as, you know, their back in the day, you know, uh, probably shouldn't even open their mouth when it comes to pro wrestling. And I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination, right? I was a big NWA, AWA. I watched uh, wrestling growing up in Hollywood or in California. You know, I saw Roddy Piper back in the '70s. He actually spit in my face one time, and I just about peed my pants. Holy shit! Don't ever jump up and go, "Hey, you know, 3 beers and 3 beers. I'll get a 15-year-old kid, 16-year-old kid." Uh, Liquid courage real fast. You know, that liquid courage goes away real fast with somebody bigger than you like that gets in your face, calls you a few choice words, and uses a lot of spit when he's telling you shut the fuck up. But anyway, but I mean, watching, you know, the Chavo Guerrero's, Maniac John Tolis, Golden Reed John Tolis, Victor Rivera, the Hollywood stuff, you know, that was back then. A lot of the Pacific Coast wrestling. A lot of the stars that you saw in the WWE in the 80s, 90s, into the 2000s came from, where do you think they came from, right? People get talent, the best people and everything, and just shit on the business. But through the years, business has changed, and I still have no fucking viewers. But I'm going to keep going because I promised myself that I was going to do this. And I'm going to get to my point in just a moment. But I'm telling you this because, like I said, I'm not just like a recent, I know certain people have, well, what the fuck are you doing a wrestling, hangout for? Nobody's going to fucking watch it. There's so many fucking wrestling hangouts and stuff, Well, I'd like to think this is the only one I ever do, because I think for the most part, people that talk about, how good a certain show was, or, like there's a critiquing, or how they would have booked matches, or how they would have done this, well, okay, then go do it, you know, um, and I watch it, and it is what it is. Sometimes you like something like that, sometimes you don't. Even if you like the product, sometimes matches, yeah, you like, and not every wrestling product is any good. Some of it's just really shitty, and some of it's so bad it's funny. And I like watching those videos. They make my day sometimes. Or these small fucking indie shows where guys aren't probably getting $5 a match, or they'll get some go, hey man, go there, have a match. I'll give you some beer and $20, to get your ass kicked. Put on some makeup or whatever, And through the years, um, the WWE has cleaned up their act from the Attitude Era, and they've gone into more of a, I don't know, more 21st century. Sorry about my hair. I got this new stuff, and I'm kind of like, anyway. Shit. I remember when G-Man told Aaron Ra that only women should have long hair. But anyway, the WWE, sports entertainment, which isn't wrestling, professional wrestling. That's, well, we're not going to have that discussion, because that's not what this is about. You already have your preconceived notions. I'm not trying to convince you to watch wrestling. I'm not trying to convince you to do anything. Change your mind about what it actually is, right? However, when a product goes out, a national product, a product that goes around the world, right? Around the country, around the world, locally, even when they do shows, right? And they have diversity programs and reading programs and anti-bullying programs, and you know um, support for the LGBT community, right? That wrestler Darren Young, who used to be on, he um, uh, was the first openly gay wrestler, and they didn't crap on him because, I guess, I don't know, it wasn't 35 years ago, and Pat Patterson was younger. And anyway, that's a different story. But celebrating diversity, celebrating women's rights, gay rights, LGBT rights, everybody, everybody's a hero, right? Don't be a bully, right? Accept everyone for who they are. And that's fine. I have no problem with that, right? They do a good job of Make-A-Wish foundations for kids, and some kids that are dying of cancer have been in children's hospitals for fucking years, and their prognosis isn't good, or I don't know, for lack of a better term, their prognosis pretty much sucks. And, they get to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and how many kids want to meet John Cena, or some other wrestling superstar, wrestler, and that's really good, and you get a lot of these professional wrestlers now. They're coming out how, when they were kids, they were bullied, right? And how, um, how that developed their characters in the show, and how they take it's a bunch of, well, anyway, they're not wrestlers. It's, well, that's not even the discussion. But they teach that everybody's, don't be a bully, just accept everybody, right? Well, recently, it's last week, and I was wondering. Well, I wasn't wondering why they did it, because I don't know. I heard upwards of like 150 million they got for doing the show in Saudi Arabia. But they had the Saudi Arabians. They wanted to have a show in Riyadh, I think it was, or whatever, the greatest Royal Rumble they called it, and in cities like that, and Saudi Arabia, they've got these giant towers, now, and everything's the biggest and the most expensive and the most huge. It's like the Texas of the Middle East, right? Like everything's got to be bigger in Texas, right? Well, I guess out there everything's got to be bigger, more colossal, Anyway, so the show had to be called the Greatest Royal Rumble Ever, which is whatever, Battle Royal, 2 minute star every 2 minutes, something else. Anyway, that's not even the fucking, but it had to be the greatest, had to be the grandest, had to be at this gigantic fucking stadium, right? With pyrotechnics and electronics and shit, right? And funny thing is, what I'm hearing is, two of the wrestlers that a lot of that was frequently asked for to be a part of the Greatest Royal Rumble was Kamala, the Ugandan warrior, and what was it? The Big Boss Man, or no, Andre the Giant, right? Was one of the people they wanted to see, right? So this is how much to state the guy who probably understood a lot of stuff when it came to people that that what they thought the product was. So, and these two of the people they wanted to, oh yeah, they wanted to see Yokozuna. They wanted to see some wrestlers that have been dead for a while, So anyway, I should tell you something. But I guess when you get a lot of money, somebody wants to put on a show, that he wants you to put on a show, and they're willing to give you that, and Saudi Arabia is, these cities are becoming more and more progressive, more accepting. Women can drive now, and I hear that, oh my God, sometimes women don't have to wear a hijab or something. I mean, it's and how progressive that these cities are, these some in Saudi Arabia, these resort towns, right? Well, they have I mean, God, they have golf, PGA golf tournaments over there. The general population, I think, in those countries don't golf. I don't know. That might be a little bit stereotypical, but who am I to judge? Anyway, they have like Grand Prix racing. It's sports that you're like, do they play that in those countries? That'd be like going to Saudi Arabia to watch a hockey game. You know what I'm saying? Um, or Nordic skiing in Saudi Arabia. Anyway, but these are progressive cities, where women are allowed to drive now. And like I said, I watched this one guy on this wrestling show that I watch sometimes just to get, I'm not obsessed with it. Look, I told you, it's a weakness I've had. It's whatever. I've been watching. I follow it. I think most of it's bullshit. The only good wrestling to me right now is New Japan wrestling. But anyway, that's not even about this. But it's just let's keep going. Like I said, been doing a lot of waking and baking, and I'm not. But so they're doing the show. They're doing the greatest Royal Rumble, and if you notice that, although things have been changing, the women involved in the show, broadcasters or wrestlers, performers, whatever, in any capacity, are not allowed to perform because only recently, right, have women been allowed to attend sporting events or entertainment as such. So we're getting really progressive, man, now because women can. They were. I remember they were talking about how much of an achievement it was just not too long ago that women could attend a soccer match, right? Or cricket, you know, or any sporting event, right? I even seen this uh, Muslim chick that's a wrestler now. I think she's in NXT. I forgot. I seen it one day, and I was like, "Holy shit, man!" It's like I get different costumes and stuff, right? But that's not the anyway. But you know, so the WWE has been approached by Saudi Arabia to put on this grand show, and they advertised the show, the city, as a resort town, right? As a progressive resort city that's in the midst of change. Women can vote, I think. I'm not sure. Depends on what. What does Allah say? But women can drive. Women can attend sporting matches and other forms of entertainment. But you just can't perform because, of course, that was obscene and against our religious customs. And so none of the women were allowed to attend, right? So this progressive country, and they actually, I didn't watch it live, but I know how to get around things on YouTube, and you know, anyway, I was watching it, and it turns out during the show they showed a an advertisement they had, a promo they had with some of the women wrestlers, right? It was different wrestlers, men and women, but not, but just there was some women. Carmella was in there, right? And how high up her fucking tights go. Fuck, man. That girl shaves. Let's put it that way, right? But that's not what this is about either. And there's still literally nobody watching this, and that's okay because I'll find a way to get it somewhere later, and hopefully somebody will watch it. But accidentally, they showed on the Giantron on the broadcast. I think it was Carmella and it was a couple of the women, right? They're doing this song thing. I don't remember what it was about or something, right? It was a promo for the company or some shit, or their next pay-per-view. And the Saudi government went fucking nuts. Put out a fucking Oh God, the WWE had to apologize for inappropriate content, religious culture. Holy crap. We hope we didn't offend anybody, right? They're apology. We really apologize. And some of the wrestlers, like Sami Zayn, right, didn't go. He's Canadian, but he's of Syrian descent, and apparently I don't know the whole story in that, but that's pretty much why he didn't go. A couple of other wrestlers didn't go, I heard, for other reasons, and some of the wrestlers really didn't. You're given the choice to go, but if you don't go, you know what I mean? We're not telling you have to go, but, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some of the talent was probably given a choice, because they weren't, but when you have a 50-man battle royal, they gotta fill that shit with somebody. So if you don't want to show up, somebody will. Somebody else is gonna get paid pretty good, probably. So can't have any women. Got all these men there in this country that are so sexually repressed that the sight of seeing a woman in a bathing suit or shorts or showing their legs is somehow immoral and just religious culture and Allah's pissed, so Muhammad said this, and we don't want to offend anybody. However, they don't want to offend anybody. But listen to this. I got this from the Atheist News Network yesterday, I think it was, in the LOBSTER bin. I subscribe to important uh, government agencies for atheists, secret societies. I get their latest news. Well, I'd like to share what came off the wire I think yesterday. I found it yesterday, but sometimes I don't check my mail. So anyway, I'm getting to my motherfucking point. Hang on a second, okay? Now, let me move my coffee cup. Now, the lobster's getting older, right? And these aren't the glasses I'm supposed to have. I lost my other pair. These are like really old pairs, so it's better than like not seeing what's on the screen totally and stuff, but so I adjust my eyes. But I have my eye appointment on the 17th, and hopefully by the time I leave for Baltimore to visit with my young lobsters, I think they're crabs. In Baltimore, there's crab. They're famous for crabs. So anyway, um, I'm not trying. However, hopefully, I'm just hoping I get my eye exam and get my new glasses before I head to Baltimore in June for a reunion with if you will, with two of my young lobsters. So hopefully I'll be able to see it when I'm there. But anyway, this came off Atheist News Network. Let's see. Let me move this. I hope this isn't making too much noise, but I'm going to read this best I can. A Saudi Arabia man who renounced Islam and made disparaging remarks about the Prophet Muhammad has been sentenced to death. Authorities became aware of Ahmad al-Shamri in 2014 after he uploaded a series of videos reflecting his views on social media. He was subsequently arrested on charges of atheism and blasphemy. Oh, shit. He faced trial and he was sentenced to death in February of 2015. Now, anyway, we're gonna move the old, well, time machine up a little bit and check out a new update on this very progressive, liberal resort city in the desert. Okay. This was posted by, okay, the IBT. Let's see. International Business Times. Okay. Human rights. Excuse me. Anyway, this is by Ramil Patel. I'd screen share this, but as most of you know, we're just lucky that I'm able to do this right now. Not the most coordinated person, screen sharing. So anyway, let's see. Saudi Arabia will execute atheists for insulting the Prophet. Now, this was in April 28th of 2017. So this was just last year. Now, let's go down this story a little bit. Saudi Arabian man who renounced Islam and made disparaging remarks about the Prophet Muhammad has been sentenced to death. Probably looks like I've got neck problems, but the way the screen is, the studio is like always in construction, man. So sometimes, we don't have the angles right. Carl's working on it, right? Carl and my cat have been feverish working behind the scenes so we can bring you, well, the professional broadcast that you always get when you tune into Secular Lobster Ministries. I'm Shaq, Chili House, House of Reprobation, and your home for Wake and Bakes. Anyway, okay, let's see. Subsequently charged with okay, let's see. Okay, we're gonna go back down here. That was just okay. Al-Shamari, whatever. I'm not sure of the pronunciation, so I'll just butcher the fuck out of it and say, oops. Anyway, he's reportedly in his early 20s and comes from the city of Hafar al-Batin, located in Saudi Arabia's eastern province. The defendant initially pleaded insanity, saying that he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol when he made the comments. An advisory board member of Human Rights Watch, HRW, told the Washington Post. She added, his trial focused heavily on Quranic law and little on any mitigating mental illness. As a result, al-Shamari has been sentenced to death for being an atheist. Well, I'm trying my best to read this. After a lengthy appeals process, Saudi Arabia's Supreme Court ruled against al-Shamari on Tuesday, April 25th. According to Amnesty International, the Gulf oil giant carried out at least 154 executions in 2016. The country has been habitually criticized by human rights organizations over its human rights record, but it still is a member of the UN's Human Rights Council, and its term expires in 2019. So that's why they're, giving women the right to, ride bicycles and drive cars and, attend sporting events. Wow. And I was watching this one hangout or this one show, and this guy, he's from Britain, England, whatever the fuck, Anyway, one of these guys is characters, he goes, if you think about it, 90 years, women in our country didn't get the right to vote till 1923, says those they're only like 90 years behind. Boom. So, hey, so there was a time, when we did, it's like being apologetic for fucking slavery, or some other horse shit thing, right? The fact is, if you're an atheist in these countries, right? If you don't believe in God, any God, I guess, well, they do like to, burn them some Christians, and the Christians say, it's fucking religion, people. Motherfuck. Anyway, leaving Islam is punishable by death in the ultra-conservative kingdom. The conservative religious folks have full control of the justice system, said Algan Kugel, Middle East researcher at HRW. Judges come from religious seminaries in Saudi Arabia. They see themselves as preservers of Saudi Arabia's character as an Islamic state, he added, and they come down hard on people who step out of line. Saudi Arabia was ranked third by Amnesty International for recorded executions in 2016, behind China, which was in the thousands, and Iran, 567 plus. The true figures are thought to be significantly higher as figures over the judicial use of the penalty, of the death penalty. Those sentences to death are killed by beheading or shooting. So if you're an atheist, or you talk bad about Muhammad, or you're don't believe in Allah, and stuff like that, right? They want to shoot you, right? And accept it. It's accepted. It's just happened recently, and this isn't made up shit. To be some fucking, oh, the Muslim terrorists are coming and shit like that. That's not what I'm saying at all, right? I mean, for fuck's sake, we got people in this country, right? Social media users were divided over al-Shamari's death sentence, with some saying such extreme and coarse action as is unjustified. Others, however, appeared to celebrate the verdict and even went as far as saying they wished they could be live streaming when the execution is carried out. So now, when a company, any company, and people talk about oil companies, all the oil companies and the big businesses, they're in cahoots and stuff. When you have a show, right, and you or a product, and you preach diversity, you preach, you don't be a bully, be a star, you know. When you tell women that they can be that person, you know, the perseverance, you know, building women up in the wrestling world, in the world all around, right? And then you go to a country because they pay you a lot of fucking money, right, to do a show, but you can't bring women, you know, like I said, sure, you know, hey, at least we let them come to the show and watch. That's not an accent that should have been used. I have no idea where that came from, but anyway, you know, but you just can't, you know, we just don't want to see him on the show, right? Because it's inappropriate, right? You see a woman's legs or something for fucking religious reasons, right? Any fucking religion. So let me get that point across if anybody ever sees this. So it's okay to accept money, um, teach diversity, anti-bullying, but go to a country that executes people for for being an atheist, period, or blasphemy. And blasphemy, you know, then we get into Levitican law or whatever the fuck, you know, people that are Christians remember, you know, kind of like Levitican. It's just those fucking rules that you can't escape from because all those rules don't matter anymore in the world except for that one that we want to remember. And it normally has to do with something sexual, which in the 21st century, right, when people still believe, now this is any religion, right? I'm not just talking. I still have no viewers. Nobody's watching this, and that's okay. But I'm gonna keep going because this is a lot easier than making a 50-minute video that y'all don't understand how long it takes me sometimes uh, to finish one of those on help videos. So this is kind of relaxing for me, right? You know, if you watch 30, sometimes 5 minutes of a Von Helton video, right? The first 5 minutes, right, can take upwards of 3 hours to make, right? So if you're getting, I'm not kidding you. And I love doing them. However, sometimes after I've done one, it's like, boy, that was fun. I really enjoyed doing that one. You know, I wonder if anybody's going to watch it. And people that do watch it, I really uh, thank you. Uh, and apparently, I still have no viewers. Like I said, I'm gonna, I don't know, rebroadcast this another time, another station, and hopefully you'll tune in for the smooth, smooth sounds of the lobster at 2:26 on May 2nd, 2018. It's been a warm, finally, spring is here. Spring is here. It's May flower time. The weather's getting warmer. Got up to, oh my goodness, 75 degrees yesterday, I think it was. It's going to get up to a little bit higher than that today. And holy shit, we are, we are pumped. We are really ready to go. We are, going to be getting me some planting done, some tomato plants out on the, edge of the, lobster terrace outside, facing the street and other houses, power lines. Anyway, the weather's warmer. I'll be back on my other channel of the Lobster. Gonna be doing some live hangouts. Trying to get all clowns go to meet. I'm trying to get meet to fucking communicate with me, motherfucker. You told me after fucking Christmas that we'd have a fucking hangout, right? And dude, you just fucking appeared. You ignored people. I don't know what happened. When you came back, you were darker. I thought something was happening the last time we talked, right? However, dude, you disappeared, man. You wouldn't return my messages, and I thought, what the fuck, Then you came back, right? And you're darker, man. You're sicker than ever, man. And I'm really digging that. And looking forward to doing a hangout with you, man, so we can have some, I don't know, good times, some sick times, and fun as shit, you know? Anyway, yeah, these progressive countries, and let me be quite honestly and frankly with you. People say that the reasons that the Muslims, it's the Muslim terrorists, if you don't convert to Islam, they're gonna kill you. They want to convert you to Islam. I still got some leftover fucking pizza. It's cheesesteak, peppers, and cheese. It's just pretty fucking good. Anyway, I'll do a Von Hilton, and I'll fucking eat, right? But this isn't from Schwan's. Well, actually, I had it delivered. Well, anyway, I'm very sorry about that. Well, I forgot what I was talking about. That pizza was so fucking good. Anyway, what I was talking about was got that motherfucking frog in my throat. It doesn't help it. I smoke like a train. Drink so much coffee. Anyway, people talk about Muslims. They want people put to death. If they don't believe like them, if they don't convert to Islam, they should be put to death. Gays and atheists still get put to death for blasphemy and just being they fucking are and realizing that it's all bullshit. And this is a resort town. These are resort towns. It's a progressive resort towns because women can drive cars and attend sporting events, but they just can't participate. But don't be an atheist or gay or transgender in any way, shape, or form. Now, I can understand saying, look, we know there's a religious difference. Please don't be insulting to our religion. We won't make fun of Jesus and the whole thing, and whatever, and we won't, But no, you have to totally respect their religious beliefs, because of course they're progressives, But if you're an atheist or in any way, shape, or form not conformant to their laws, their Islamic laws, well, fuck, we'll just put you to death. We're either going to shoot you or we're going to cut your head off. That's fucking progressive as shit. Congratulations, WWE. Vince McMahon Jr. Triple H, Paul Levesque, whoever the fuck, right? Shows, and I know it's a money business, and hey, they're going to give you this much money to do this. But when you put out a product and pretend to be one thing, and go to a country, right, that it kills people for being an atheist or gay or LGBT, lesbian or transgender in any way, shape, or form, or if anybody insults their God, they're going to be, their head's going to get cut off. They're going to be shot. They're going to fucking die. But we don't want to offend them in any way, shape, or form. And we apologize for showing, I don't know, women on a fucking promo commercial during an intermission between matches. One person that I really respect that does a wrestling podcast is Jim Cornette. Those of you who are familiar with wrestling know who Jim Cornette is. He's an old manager from the old WCW days, and he was in the WWE, WWF. Anyway, famous manager. He did Midnight Express and Smoky Mountain Wrestling and OVW, and he started out as a photographer. Basically like Paul Heyman did. Except for in different territories, been literally every. Anyway, he called religion bullshit. He's got a fucking fancy way of talking. That's what I like about him. He pulls no fucking punches. And he doesn't just talk about Islam. He talks about fucking Christian bullshit too, right? Which is sorely fucking missing, We live in a country, right, where, okay, admittedly, you can't be shot for being an atheist. Admittedly, you can't be tattooed on your fucking forehead for being an atheist or being gay. In truth, you can't be herded up and put in gulags and FEMA camps and concentration camps for being gay or atheist. Okay? Truth is, in this country, you can't. Well, truth is in this country, and technically in 7 states. Now, some people are going to argue because laws change and whatever like that, but basically in 5 to 7 states in this country, an atheist cannot hold public office because they don't believe in some supernatural bullshit. Okay. So this country has, our Christian nation, that people like to call, it's like calling the pot, the kettle, the whole shebang, motherfucking black. Pot calling the kettle black. That was a good save. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. There are people in this country, right-wing, wacko Christian nuts in the South, in the North, all over the fucking place. All sorts of denominations or methods of interpreting the Bible, right? All sorts of, special connections to God. For some fucking strange reason. Okay? God picked them, right? You see it on TV, you see it, you see it every day. You see it, you can go to a lot of churches, and fucking internet, TV, Sunday mornings, late at fucking night, some of these people, public access is a beautiful fucking thing if you're bored and you've got a weird fucking population. There are some strange fucking church services on public access, right? French vanilla cinnamon cappuccino thing was funky shit on it. Oh god. Anyway, there's some crazy fucking people in this country. Now we're not talking about any other country. We're talking about this country, the United States of America, where people actually think and believe wholeheartedly that atheists, gay people, transgender people, a religion that they don't quite agree with, somebody making fun of Jesus, a reprobate, a blasphemer. Anybody that disagrees with them politically or spiritually or religiously or whatever the fuck, they think that you should be killed, imprisoned, right? This isn't just somebody saying this. You can find this on the fucking internet. You can find this on public access TV. You can find this in print. You can find this literally everywhere these days, right? So it's not just the fucking Muslims. The fact is, the Muslims have people that in the courts, like they say that, but there are people in this country and people in this government that literally want biblical law to be the law of the land, right? Now, their interpretation of biblical law tends to differ on so many fucking levels. It's fucking ridiculous. If somebody says one thing, somebody else has to have some sort of different spin on how it was because they can't be true because we're true. They're not real Christians. We are. How can they do this if they don't believe this? How can they say this and believe this? How can they believe this and say this? How can they, oh my God, how can they blaspheme the name of Jesus Christ? How can you do such things and live? And not be shot, beheaded, stoned, at least imprisoned, so you can't populate and spread that evil. Now, we don't have these things in this country because, for the most part, we've kept nutbags like Mike Pence out of the fucking White House, right? He's the vice fucking president. Mike Pence is a fucking nutty motherfucker, right? Ted Cruz is still around. I don't know what kind of fucking job he's got, but he shows up in a lot. You've got so many people. Fucking Rick Perry's involved. Fucking Ben Carson, right? The guy that had to have the $31,000 table, the desk thing, because the other one was a health hazard and stuff. And his wife said that, holy shit. Okay. If you're getting this on the secular lobster, the lobster, if you get hangout, oh God, I hope somebody gets this eventually. But what I'm saying, Chuck Norris believes that atheists should have "In God We Trust" tattooed on their foreheads, right? Now, people always consider Chuck Norris, Walker, Texas Ranger, the karate, thing, the martial arts, and he's connected to Bruce Lee and, stuff, and that's cool. But then when you start finding out what people believe, you know, deeply held religious beliefs. Sometimes your opinion of them can drastically fucking change. You know, that image of a hero, you know, a strong guy, Walker, Texas Ranger. To me, well, he just, to me, just turns into Walker, Texas cunt, you know? Um, just a genuine shitbag, you know? Fuck you, Chuck Norris. Now, it's sad, you know, it's really sad. You know, atheists, you know, atheists get blamed for Satan. Atheists gets blamed for uh, demonic possessions and satanic things because, you know, it says in the Bible, you know, fool in his heart says there is no God, you know, or, you know, it says in the Bible that there's going to be people out there that said it ain't true. So we fixed them. We told them in the book that it was true. So when people came back to tell you it wasn't true, you can look on our book and find out that, fuck me, it says right here in their book it's true. Because they said it is. What kind of world do we live in where I don't know. I'm gonna go to my other page and see if I can get the fucking link in here. Anyway, try to spread it somewhere because still literally there's nobody watching, and there has been absolutely nobody watching this, and you know, that's okay because, you know, I didn't really expect anybody to watch it, and if anybody did watch it, it probably wouldn't be live. So because on this channel I've only got 3 subscribers, and until my other channel gets back, you know, sometimes I do hangouts, you know, and a lot of times I don't, but sometimes I do, and so things that, you know, I had my other channel flagged for hate speech, you know, or not flagged. Well, I got a strike, so, you know, I've got that 90-day fucking YouTube jail thing, you know, and so yeah, like I said, that was because uh, that hangout that I think Look at Pickers, whoever it was, had G-Man come in, and we had fun. But you know, or making fun of J-Dubs, right? Um, well, it said fucking, my God. Anyway, this is turning into a complete debacle. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Nobody came in to visit me, but we have people, for some strange reason, we have people that are warriors for Christ. You know, we fight the war for Jesus. You know, soldiers of the cross. You know, God's all powerful, by the way. But you know, well, you don't get it, man. You know, fuck me. This 21st century, we have people that literally believe in the book of Genesis and the Bible as it was written to be true and correct from Genesis all the way through Revelation. If it's in the Bible, it's true. Now, what they find to be true varies greatly on so many levels by so many people, so many organizations, people that, well, I believe, I agree with you on this part here, but I do believe what Paul meant when he was talking to the Romans in that letter was, how the fuck do you know what was in Paul's fucking head? You see what I'm saying? Doing a preaching service, throwing up little stories that somehow you can fit into your daily life or some sort of stupid fucking message you want to perceive so people believe like you, right? Well, at least they believe in something. At least they believe in something. That's not the God I worship. My God is loving. He died for me, shed his blood. What about the flood? Well, they were sinners. God told them, repent, repent. I don't want to do this, but I will if you continue to disobey me. Oh my God. He didn't want to drown those babies. God loves the little children. Everything is beautiful in its own way to Jesus. He knowed you before you was born, before you were in your mama's womb. God knew you. God decided to make you what you are today. Whether you're a deformed child with some sort of physical deformity, most likely caused by the devil, and the parents not believing hard enough in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and giving just a little bit more to the church every Sunday than they've been doing recently in the last 6 months. I think that's why their child come out looking a little funny. I do believe that may be the problem right there. So we don't want that to happen again, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus, he doesn't want to die for you again, but he dies in his heart every day. Every day, God dies in his heart when he sees people denying him and not like fearing him, because God is so awesome, but you gotta fear him because he demands, fear the Lord thy God. Well, it's in the Bible. He tells you right there, you gotta fear me, or I'm gonna fuck you up. I don't want to fuck you up. Hell, I might fucking throw a mess of frogs on your house, cause fucking, big bugs and boils on your skin that kill you and stuff, because you wouldn't repent and accept me as your personal Lord and Savior. I told you, I told you, I told you. If you didn't repent to me and accept me as your personal Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, that I'd have to fuck you up somehow, show you that I am the Lord thy God. Mama Joe died just last month. Wasn't that a tragedy? I didn't want to take her so soon. She had about 10 more years to go. Well, Grandma didn't believe, you know. Grandma stopped going to church. Grandma died. Well, now Grandma's in heaven. Praise Jesus. Now, one thing that we've got to learn from these mistakes that people talk about in the world today is how we can convince people, everybody in the world, to believe just like we do. Because if everybody believes just like we do, everything will be perfect. We'd all go to heaven. And we get to sing our praises to Jesus all day long. Every day. Every week. Every month. Every year. Fuck, I gotta start out with every other second. Okay, you get to rejoice and sing and praise Jesus every second, every minute, every hour. You get where I'm going. So, what we're telling you right now is Jesus don't want to kill you. He don't want to put frogs in your penis, frogs on your penis. He didn't want to make the frogs gay neither, but he did because people didn't repent. Now, God is a loving God. He'll tell you flat out, He loves you. He loves you unconditionally. Jesus loves you unconditionally. He gave His only begotten Son to die for you on the cross and shed His blood for you. My goodness, what else can you ask a patient to do? And then after He died, my goodness gracious, He come back, and rose from the dead. And then He flew off to heaven, where He lives and reigns forever and ever. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, well, we've done it. We have set a goal. We have reached the goal. Basically, we've come to the close to the beginning of the end of this, I guess, one-man show. No one shows up hangout, but we knew this would happen. We knew it would happen. Because God's punishing me right now. Because I haven't got on my knees and begged for His forgiveness like I should. I should get on my knees right now and say, Jesus, forgive me. I'm a sinner. Sometimes I wink my wiener. Please forgive me. And stuff like that, and talk about things that I've done in my past that I'm so proud of. There ain't nothing I can do about it, and I was never prosecuted, or no one ever found out, or, well, you know what I'm saying. We all have skeletons in our closet. Jesus had skeletons in His closet too. There's so many years with this only speculation of where He was in those lost years. So many stories. Who knows what happened? Did Jesus sleep with whores? Did Jesus drink a lot of wine? Was Jesus a gambler? Did Jesus play the ponies? Did Jesus really die for your sins? And did He really rise from the dead after 3 fucking days? Nah. It's all bullshit, and people fucking know it. They just don't fucking want to admit it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was awesomely fun. Got a little steam blown off, shared a little information. You found out about a lot about me. I found out a lot about you. You cared not to participate in this fucking hangout. And I'd like to thank you for that because, well, we got a chance to know each other just a little bit more. Emotions, feelings, inner thoughts. It's been a wonderful ride. I'd like to throw a special shout out to Mutaboza. I've been looking forward to conversation with you again. It's always a very intellectual, comedic, and musical extravaganza of lulls between the two of us. I look forward to communicating with you again, sir. As soon as you get your tubes and knobs and stuff fixed and coordinated and everything, and you use more paint and paint uh, paint things and stuff. Anyway, like I said, meet. All clowns go to heaven. Motherfucker, you need to contact me, and we need to do a little bit of communication. Um, let's see. Well, yeah, being that I'm already on here. Uh, you know what? I I got a little bit of coffee. Oh, that probably sounded really bad, but the coffee got cold and I got cotton mouth really bad, and coffee doesn't really like help with it. Anyway, that was disgusting. But anyway, you know what I'm gonna do? I am going to, we're gonna have a little tribute to silence right now. We're gonna have a few moments of silence. Take a chance. Take a break. Go pee. Go make a cup of coffee like I'm fixing to do. Smoke a bowl. Go pee. Make a poop. Make a deuce. Drop a doo-doo. Grab some Cheerios. Grab some ice cream. Eat some popcorn. Secular Lobster Ministries. We'll be back after these brief, silent moments. Please enjoy the silence. We'll be right back. and the home of the brave. Hey, everybody, we're back. Thank you. That was a lovely, lovely moment of silence, a few minutes of silence. Anyway, doing a video that I've been working on, and I'd like to share the idea of it. Not to give away any spoilers, but people wonder, why, I've, sure, it's funny to make fun of Von Helton. It's easy to make fun of Von Helton. He's not very bright. Okay, I think the technical term is borderline stupid. I think back in the 100 years ago, 110 years ago, 200 years ago, there was a term, the village idiot. I think they actually had that term when the eugenics program was going on in the, before Nazi Germany. But anyway, I'm just saying. I'm sorry. Got a nice chocolate protein shake here. Hey, had to take a break from my other. I had to find new ways to get protein. Nod, nod, wink, wink. Had to give up a career. Good times. Anyway, people wonder, people ask me, why do I hate Von Helton? Why do I do Von Helton videos? And there's been many reasons, but when he started the Cold War veteran, taking credit for the fact that we don't speak Russian, that we should thank him or kiss his ass, right? Thank him, kiss his ass, right? Whatever. I'm gonna put some of that in coffee. Probably gonna be pretty fucking good. Anyway, because this stuff is pretty fucking good. Hey, besides Taco Tuesday, it's also been, Freestyle Friday a few days early. So that's why we're being so informal here today at Secular Lobster Ministries. But I'll remember what I was talking about in just a moment. Oh yeah. Sorry. My brain went to Venus for a couple of minutes there, and I'm back. But anyway, a lot of things really can bug you about Stinky. A lot of things are irritating about Private Poopy Pants. Some call Baron Von Poopy Pants a narcissist. I'm not really sure why. He's such a fucking legend in his trailer. And the whole the Punisher thing, everybody knows that's bullshit, and the whole this whole shtick or whatever, but when you start claiming to be a Cold War veteran, that you served in the Cold War, that people should thank you, that kiss your ass because we don't speak Russian, you did your time, they only let you go to the fucking gunnery range one time. how you got out and served in a civilian capacity, and the fact that, you know, there's no paper trail doesn't mean that you weren't a fucking super fucking hero during the Cold War, because you were Vladimir Putin's fucking adversary. You were secret. You were co-op. You were covert, man. You were down in the fucking trenches. Ah, God, that is good shit. Anyway, and it's not alcoholic. That'll be in a couple days. You gotta have some vodka sometimes. But the fact that Vaughn claims so many things, Vaughn claims to have been so many places in the military, done so many fucking things, that you should fucking thank him for his service, right? People should be thanking him for the things that he did. But no, they laugh at him. You know, he served in the Cold War. He did his time. Nine and a half months, and the farthest you made it was total. And the farthest you made it was fucking Texas. Fort Hood, Fort Bliss, whatever the fuck. It's also a place where they discharge people on. It's a, I forgot what they call it. Mass deportation. I don't know, but there's other reasons, you know, besides the fact that you can't fucking, you know, how the hell did I end up in Fort Hood or Fort Bliss or whatever the fuck, you know, without ever saying, you know, what unit, you know, never mentioning friends, never mentioning anything. But people, you know, and hey, there's no paper trail, you know, it's not your fault. Because what you did was so fucking awesome. You saved the world from communism, Vaughn. And for that, you believe that we should thank you. You think you're a hero. You think you've done something. You think you consider yourself an unappreciated hero, right? That's basically my problem. And I'll tell you why. I've never had too many people in my life that I considered quote unquote heroes. You know, they go, who are the heroes in your life? You know, I really didn't have any. I really didn't understand really what that was, right? You know, dysfunctional families, you know, whatever. And I'm sure I'm not the only person that probably didn't have or didn't understand what a hero or, you know, connections or, you know, whatever, you know. A couple baseball heroes as a kid, you know, yeah, for a while, you know, things, you know, I mean, I didn't love Sandy Koufax. I was 5 years old and I knew who Sandy Koufax was. But other people have different ideas of what a hero is, right? Well, one of the few people in my life that I ever really considered a hero and didn't really realize it until like 20 years later, too late. You know, it's never, but anyway, but I always had that respect. I guess he was my hero to me. um, because of what he did share with me. I just didn't understand what and it all started, I was 9 or 10. So that would have been 1969, 1970. My brothers and I, we had paper routes, bicycles, delivered papers. And as my paper route grew, I took on one of my other brothers, uh, part of his, excuse me. Great, now I have the burps. Anyway, took on part of, one of my brother's routes. And on this route, right, what every morning was delivering the Los Angeles Times. We lived in Long Beach, and one of my new um, customers, there was this old folks home, convalescent home kind of thing. I guess now it'd be considered more of an assisted living because they weren't like dying in bed and with tubes and stuff. But still, it was an old folks home. And my brother had this old guy, right, Mr. Watson, and I'd been there one time with my brother, but he seemed kind of grumpy or was asleep. And I really don't remember the first time I met him. But all of a sudden, when I got uh, him as one of my customers, I would have to, this back in the days when he had his fucking screen door open to his room that faced outside, where I would just open his door, place the paper at the foot of his bed, and every morning there would be like a Baby Ruth candy bar, not the little tiny ones, but the big ones, and a couple times a week there'd be $1, right? Which in 1969, 1970 was a lot of money for a 9 or 10-year-old kid. And when my brother had told me that Mr. Watson had no legs. He couldn't get out of bed, and that he'd been in the war. And this was back when, I guess, World War II veterans were middle-aged, ish, So the World War II was still very the memories, and so sometimes when you're a kid, you're thinking World War II, even though I was born in, but still there was that, So I'm thinking, World War II, and he's like, no, it was in World War One, right? Got his legs blown off, in a grenade or a mortar round, or anyway, there was an explosion. Boom, he had no legs. And some mornings when I would deliver the paper, he'd be awake, and I'd have a couple of minutes. I couldn't stay very long because I had to go to school and everything, but sometimes he would say, he didn't mind if I stopped by sometimes, chat with the guy, he was pretty cool, sometimes he was cranky, sometimes I'd stop by and he was sleeping, so I'd just leave. I didn't go there all the time, but I went there, a bit, and he just liked to talk about stuff, and he talked about like trench warfare and getting gassed, chemical attacks, and watching hundreds of men get slaughtered by machine gun fire, right? And being lucky that he didn't get fucking hit, right? Countless fucking times, right? He didn't go into some details because, kind of like with World War II veterans. A lot of people didn't believe for years because people thought they, you know, um, or some people just didn't want to talk about it. And there were certain times, but there were some times he kind of, he talked about a couple of units he was in briefly, kind of, like I said, I'm 9 or 10 years old. And the more that I would talk to him and stuff, like I said, sometimes he was cranky and didn't want to talk. But there's this guy, right? He went through World War I, the war to end all wars, right? That only created the next World War. But anyway, a man who volunteered to go to France and fight the Huns, the evil Germans, right? Defend whatever, because America, we finally got into war. They finally talked us into it, right? He goes over there, like many people did, volunteered, and either came back dead or missing arms and legs, and sometimes all the arms and legs, sometimes two leg, one, mutilated fucking people. It was kind of like the Civil War, right? Just like kind of in a way, to me, the way World War I was kind of like still like Civil War type, our Civil War type mentalities in a lot of way, and so it just every war kind of starts, I guess, doctrinally, to the war doctrine, kind of like from the war before, we tried to fight, Napoleonic Wars and the Civil War, and look where that got us. Thousands of people killed. Hundreds at a time. Same thing happened in, World War One, in a place where most people would have never gone in their life had it not been for a war, have not been for being there, for volunteering, living in a trench, fucking machine gun fire, getting gassed, getting your legs blown off. And for the most part, not really, he was okay with it, He did it, but he didn't complain. He didn't think anybody owed him anything, He didn't think, he didn't cry about what happened to him. What happened to him happened to him, right? And I'm like I said, like 10 years old, right? And I'm like, this old man's got no fucking legs, and he could get around, right? He had a, and I was like, holy shit, this guy went through all this fucking shit, right? And people know that I'm a big baseball fan, right? So baseball heroes and real life heroes, things like that. But he never complained, right? He did his job, right? Shit happens, basically. That he didn't use that term, but basically in the end, he did his job. Some people didn't come back. He was lucky to come back, even though he didn't have two legs. Sure, he would have liked to have two legs, but that just wasn't going to happen. He was too old for prosthetics or the whatever. Just the whole being able to have any type of legs was just not going to fucking happen, right? This is the kind of person, to me, right, that is a hero, right? Somebody that went somewhere, somebody that did something, somebody that volunteered, somebody that sacrificed, right? somebody that doesn't demand your thanks for their service. The fact that you're not speaking Russian or you're not speaking German, you should thank them. This man, Mr. Watson, I guess later on, I later on thinking about this and stuff, because ever since I talked to him, I've always been fascinated with World War One, how it started. That's a fucking topic that can go on forever. Um, how it progressed, the battles that were fought, the trench warfare, the lines, the miles and miles of interconnected trenches, underground cities almost, just stalemates, right? And in between these two fucking lines was no man's land, right? Men were literally ordered to charge, knowing that there was machine guns fire, hundreds of them, right across the fucking field. That as soon as they popped their head up, chances are they were dead. But they did their job. These are men that are heroes. To me, people that actually sacrificed something, gave up something, right? Didn't demand something in return. They just wanted a paycheck. Sure, it wasn't much. They wanted it to be over. They did their job. They didn't talk about it. Most of the time, they didn't want to talk about it because of what they'd seen. These are heroes to me, right? So when Vaughn gets up there and announces that he's some sort of fucking Cold War veteran, that he was a counterpart to fucking Vladimir Putin, and we're not speaking Russian, so we should thank him. But America's becoming tyranny ridden, and he wants to get out of the country because of tyranny, and our founding fathers didn't mean this. And if Von Helton, every time he brings up Thomas Jefferson and the Danbury Baptist Church, he just proves what kind of a fucking retarded moron that he really is. And that's just a fact. I hate Von Helton. Like I said, I've told this to people many times. I have never been a Yankee Doodle flag waving motherfucking patriotic kind of guy, right? I'm not like that. I don't really think that. I think I ever, when I was it was bit time, you stand up, you're proud, and I get that, but not flag. Well, I don't have to raise the flag and show the flag and tell everybody that I'm American and all this crap. America first, Um, but I'm proud of my country. I'm very still pro-military to an extent, depending on who's in charge of the military. We've got Trump now. Fuck, that's another goddamn story. And Mike Pence, he's right behind him. These are people that want Armageddon to happen to prove the fucking Bible is true, right? It's in the Bible. It's going to happen. We're going to try to prevent it, so we're going to have more missiles pointed at them, and we're going to threaten them more than they can shoot missiles at us and threaten us. We're going to make bigger missiles, bigger things to fly through the air and kill them before they kill us in the name of America. That's how this country's going to be fucked. Anyway, Von Helton, he's a piece of shit. He's a work of art, you know? If Von Helton was a painting, he'd be a painting of horse shit. Kentucky horse shit. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we here at Secular Lobster Ministries, we'd like to thank absolutely no one for watching this video, because literally at this point, watching this, no one has watched this video. So much for live hangouts on a secondary channel that very few people know about to begin with. It's just meant to be a secondary channel. So I decided, what the fuck? I felt like talking. I felt like spreading the love, sharing the news. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Secular Lobster. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening, a wonderful tomorrow, and a beautiful day. And other bullshit like that, whatever the fuck people say. You know, honestly, I could give a fuck less. So, yeah. We here at Secular Lobster Ministries, Clam Shack Chili House, and a House of Reprobation. All the gang here. Carl in the background there. Well, he's off to the side there. He's busy on his laptop. Cat's running around here. He's working to mimeograph the Xerox copier this week, which is a big promotion for him. So we're proud of him. Cat's doing a good job with the Xerox machine, copying off papers all the time to be filed in the court of lulls. Anyway, it's busy here. I hope you're having a lovely time. I hope whatever you're doing right now, you're having fun. This is Secular Lobster, hoping you and yours to have whatever the fuck kind of day you want to have, you know. So, anyway, a fucking off we will go.